Hello, Internet. Welcome to Endless Space 2. I am. My name is Daniel, and I am going to show you how to play. I'm pretty decent at the game. I've beaten the game on almost every difficulty except the very last one. So, I'm just going to take you through the game from the ground up. We're going to look at a lot of the mechanics. I'll try to keep them as simple as I can, but there's a lot, so here's your options. I'm going to turn the audio down a little bit. It's kind of loud when I was recording. Okay, so here's your options. If you've ever played anything like Civ, I mean, it's all here. You can choose how many people you want, speed of the game, difficulty, pirates, which are like, what do you call them? Bandits or whatever. You can choose the shape of the galaxy, which is pretty cool. You can choose the density. And I'm gonna go through the races here. So, first off is the Sophons. Each race has something very different about them. They essentially all play almost completely differently. Some of them are very similar, though. The Sophons, their trait is called Omniscience, and basically they can kind of research into the future. So they can research things that are harder than what you could normally research. There's the Cravers. Cravers are great for if you want to play an entry-level military game. Well, let me think. They basically drain their planet of resources, so they have to constantly be colonizing and conquering because they're eating their planet, and they will eventually consume all the resources on a planet, and it becomes like a husk. So that planet becomes essentially worthless. So you have to constantly be at war with them. The Lumares, they're all about gold, or as they call it in this game, dust production. They're really good at making money. They're good at buying out systems, bribes, all that kind of stuff. They're touted in this game as like a space mafia, which is pretty cool. The Vadiani, in my opinion, are probably the hardest race in the game to play. They're really cool looking. Their ships are awesome. They fly in these giant colossal carriers called arcs that anchor to systems, and they start just leeching and draining the system of resources. And that's pretty much how they work. They can detach from the system and travel around. It's their whole mechanic. The Empire, they basically get more, what is it? Is it production? So they get more influence based on the amount of production they create. So you basically want a lot of factories and stuff with them, so you get more influence. The Horatio. Horatio is Horatio, the grandest, most beautiful, most elegant creature in existence. Horatio is this race of people that are all Horatio. They're all the same. And their whole concept of playing as them is they take other races and they splice their genetic DNA into his. It's kind of a harder one to play, even though its mechanics are fairly simple. The Riftborn, these are my personal favorite. They are very customizable. They can pretty much be anything they need to be, but having such flexibility means you have to really know a lot of the game's inner workings so that you can exploit it to the best of your knowledge. But they're pretty good. Pretty tough, just because they have a lot of nuances that you sacrifice for that customization.
Choose tenacity.
The Infallen, these guys are like tree people. They're all about going from their home system and spreading their roots across the galaxy. And all their systems are connected. They're a very peaceful civ, but they are very aggressive, like mid to late game, because they take systems with their influence. The Vultures are the first of the expansion races, and they're explorers. And they're pretty cool in that, well, most civs, when they create like an empire, they build it kind of all together. That way, you know, if they have to send ships from one system to another, it's relatively quick. But the Vultures have a technology they start with where it lets them create warp gates, and they can warp ships from one planet to another. So they can have their systems be, you know, their planets and whatnot, anywhere in the galaxy they want. So they're great for sniping really juicy planets and colonizing and, you know, all that. And the last ones are the Hisho. The Hisho are very samurai-like. They are a war nation, like the Cravers, and they have this resource called Ki, and they basically use it to buff their fleets and whatnot, but it also works as their happiness. And losing battles and whatnot and not fighting will cause it to slowly drain over time. So you basically need to constantly be in combat with these guys if you want to keep your people happy. I think starting out, just for simplicity's sake, probably the easiest one I'm going to play is the Empire. Empire is really simple. They're easy to play. They have that Terran aspect to them. They're not bad. I think I'm going to start... Yeah, I'm just going to leave them red for our color. I guess I'll let the video in the beginning play too.
Under the visionary leadership of Emperor Zelavus, we have become a proud and powerful nation. It is time to rise up, grasp our future, and seek our destiny among the stars. Imagine the future that we can build. We shall construct great fleets, send them out to make great discoveries, and through their conquests, secure our place in this rich galaxy. We will discover new sciences and new life. We will greet new peoples and turn them into new patriots. Together, we shall leave our mark on history. For together, we can become anything our hearts desire. Whatever the cost, whatever the effort, let us not shy away from the greatness that is our birthright.
Time of great peace and prosperity for the Empire. Usurpers have been vanquished, disagreements resolved, wars ended. The Empire is truly united. Now is the time for your great nation to forge a path to the stars, to bring your great civilization to other worlds, to impress upon any other races you discover that your way is the best way.
All right. And that is the Empire. Space America. All right. Let's just an event from the start. So, here we are, endless space. It's going to be a lot to go over in the first turn, but yeah, once we get through it all, hopefully it'll start to make sense as we play. However, alright, so, first things first, your notifications are on the right side of the screen. You can right-click them to dismiss them, you can left-click them to view them. This is just telling me there's a luxury resource, like okay. Another one, okay. New hero. Every faction starts with a hero in the beginning. You can click inspect to look at him. You can change his ship, his skills, whatnot. I'll get more into that as we go along. The bottom of the screen here near end turn, there's you can select the next idle fleet. The center of the screen here has your capital. There's a red ring that is your influence. This crown here is your faction's home system. If it doesn't have a crown, it's just, you know, one of the subsystems. The population of this system is 3. And this little flashing X here tells you what's being constructed. Currently, there's nothing. The name of the system is Turkana. And this filled in circle right here means that this is colonized. And these 3 empty circles mean there are planets here, but they are uninhabitable. So what we want to do is, if we click in the center, zooms in, gives us a better view of the system. So this is Turkana with our home planet Raya. We can click on a planet, zoom in on it, check out what it's all about. Not much going on in Turkana 4. Raya. So you can actually see like the people moving around and whatnot, and like satellites. This is pretty nice looking. Why is Mediterranean not inhabitable by the Terran? That's interesting. We can get that early though. So I guess the first thing to explain is, man, there's so much. I guess we'll do the food industry, dust, science, influence. So first thing here is food. And everything that is descriptive will show in the bottom left corner of the screen. You see where it says planet food production. So a lot of the things I read off will be down there. So food. Food helps population increase. Okay, that's that's pretty bare bones basic. But okay, so it says we're getting 24 food from population. What else? So we're getting 24 from population. If we come over here and look at our system, it tells us that we're getting 30. Well, there's 35 from the colony base, 24 from the planet, 5.9 from people eating it. I'm not exactly sure what determines how much food people eat. I just know the more of it you have, the better. And yeah. So here, this little bulldozer thingy, if you click on this, it tells you all the things that are built in this system. Oh, it even tells you the upkeep. So much gold it costs per turn to maintain this system. So our colony base, it's giving the thumbs up. It's pink, 50 happiness, 35 food, 25 production, 2 influence, and plus 10% of our food goes to the military. That's what those 3 little people are. It's most basic way to say it is it's our military force. Oh, we have a Galactic HQ. That's interesting. Not all other civs have this. I don't think they do. Maybe they do. Plus 40 gold, plus 10 science, plus 5 influence. Cool. So, either way, I went over food. So, basically, food is this little thing here. System population growth of 3. If you've played Civ, this will kind of make sense to you. Each turn, you see where this green is flashing? This will fill up by that amount until it fills up all the way, like a loading bar, and then it'll go to 4. And the population will keep growing until it caps out. The population of this system right now is 3. And you can see with my current planet that I have colonized, there's room for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And it says if you get up to this red area, putting units of population in these slots will create overpopulation penalties for system approval. So basically, our happiness, this thing, will start to go down because the planet's getting too crowded. You can also see that the major faction of this planet is Imperials. And each Imperial, or each faction that's on a planet will have bonuses. The Imperials effect, as you see in the bottom left, is +1 purple star, which is influence. They also have these people here called the Yusho that live there. Basically increases the capacity for military on the planet. So that's cool. What else? Food. So, whenever you build a new ship, the ship will have a population that it needs to be put on the ship. Like, let's say you build like a starship. You don't just put one guy on it and say he pilots it. You're gonna have a staff. So let's say it's like 100 people. What it does to get that 100 people is it pulls it from this right here. This thing called manpower in the upper left corner of the screen. So it says 295 plus 5. So it'll take 100 of those people when I build a ship. It'll put them on the ship. And then I'll have 195 manpower. And then that'll go up by 5 every turn. Until it caps out. I don't know what the cap is on manpower, or if there is one. But once you're capped out, it basically like stays there. And you'll just constantly be basically spending people to colonize new planets and whatnot. The more food you have, though, the more manpower you get. So having lots of food is great for if you want to have lots of invasion fleets, or if you want to colonize a lot. So that's food. The next one is production. Production is used for building. Straight up, that's what it does. So I get 12 from here, 37. So 25 of that's coming from just a colony base being here. So we're making 37 hammers per turn in this system. So if we create, which we'll create first, drone network, and I'll click on it to queue it up. It says drone network cost 160. Well, if we're creating 37 hammers per turn, how many turns will that take? According to this, it'll take 5 turns. The upkeep cost is 2 gold. So right now, if you look up here, how much money is our empire making? We have 100 gold in our bank, in our treasury, and we're making 28 per turn. So, if our upkeep's 2 and we build this, our treasury will be producing 26 gold per turn. So you can see as you start building more and more buildings, there will be an upkeep cost that's imposed on your empire. Which eventually you can supplement that by building economic buildings and whatnot. So this has an upkeep of 8 gold. That's quite a bit. But it gives 10 approval to this system. Pretty nice. Drone networks, though, increases our food by 10, and it increases our production by 10. So we'd go from 37 to 47 production, 30 food to 40 food. Not bad. And the Empire has a unique thing where they can buy out their constructions with purple stars. This is literally an Empire-only thing, so we currently have 0, but as you build more and more influence, you can buy things out with them. So, I'll set drone networks as the first one, and I'll set Xeno Industrial Infrastructure as my second, because this gives more hammers for planets that are fertile, temperate, or just planets in general. So, that's really good to have. Cerebral Reality gives science and gold. Actually, I want to put that above that. Okay. So, that was production. Next is gold, or dust. So dust is money. You'll use it for, you can bribe people, you can buy pirate contracts, you can bribe pirates, eventually you can buy ships and buildings with it. Dust in general is just really good to have. It's also used for paying your upkeep like we just talked about. The next thing is science. Science is used for research, which we will go over. It's kind of its own thing. The more science buildings you have, the more research. Usually, when it comes to planets, hot planets are better at putting out production. Cold planets are better at putting out science. And usually, like, desert planets are the best for money, or dust. As for food, I guess temperate planets are best. The last resource is influence, which is the purple stars. And the best way to get purple stars is there are certain buildings that you research and build that'll give you purple stars. So, other than that, there are, like, looking at our Terran planet, it says it's a temperate planet, meaning that's just the weather. And it doesn't do anything at its base, but the weather and whatnot is affected, or does affect what certain buildings do. So, a good example would be, do I have anything? Okay, this one. So this one gives 10 production per fertile, or per temperate. Well, this is a temperate planet. And I have one planet colonized in this system. So building this, 10 per planet, I have one planet, so that's 10 production, and it's temperate. 20 production just from building this building. And if I start colonizing the other planets, that's going to multiply that production bonus. If I have all 4 of these planets, that's 40 production right there alone. Pretty nice. Like I said, hotter planets produce more hammers. Well, if you come over and look at Turkana 1, look at those hammers. Eventually you want to get that. Now there is an issue. Planet type does affect a lot on how your people look at you and how they live. Raya, our capital, is a Terran planet. And it says there at the very bottom of the screen, Raya planet type. Due to its planet type, for each population, it's +2 gold per person and +1 production per person. So right now, I'm getting 6 gold on Raya, just from the people, and 3 from the hammers. So that's not too bad. However, let's go look at Turkana 1, the super mega capital of production. Yeah, it gives a lot of hammers. However, for every person living there, we suffer 8, our system approval goes down by 8 per one. So we have enough for what? 24. That would cut our system approval in half if we had 3 people in there. That's pretty awful. So that's that. Another thing that's on planets is, unfortunately, there's no anomalies. However, well, maybe there are. Let's zoom out. Well, first, these are the anomalies. See, this says there's a life form, but there's a question mark in this kind of interesting bubble. That means there's a life form on this planet, but we don't exactly know what it is until we send a probe to research it. There's also some sort of atmospheric anomaly that we don't know that we have to research. Life form atmospheric, yeah. So we're not exactly sure. But let's go back. And I'm going to go over our ships here. So see, I clicked right here. Anytime a ship's in a system, they'll kind of be docked on the edge. And I have 2 here. So the first ship, this one at the top, has a flag. And if it has a flag, it usually has this little modifier on it, and it's a planet with a flag, and that lets you colonize. I can't colonize our home system because, well, that'd be pointless. It's already colonized. But I can use this to find another system. If you see these star lanes, these are what you travel in the game. You travel along them to find other systems. There are technologies that let you go outside the star lanes, so you are not strictly confined to them the entire game, just in the very beginning. The second ship, below our colonizer, has a magnifying glass. This is our explorer. And what it has are probes on it. And it can click to launch a probe to try and explore. Oops, I accidentally clicked on that. So launch probes will let us launch them to explore them. Or we can start an expedition with them, which is the little cube with the magnifying glass. So if we click on that, it'll zoom in on the system and it'll be like, okay, where do you want to send the expedition? So what do we want to explore? I think the planet that we would be able to quickly, or most quickly, inhabit would be the Mediterranean. It'd probably be easiest to research the technology to live on a planet like this. So we're gonna inspect this life form. So Eden Incense, it's a plant, which it's a luxury resource, which I'll go over luxuries later. And an anomaly. Okay. So you see how it says high energy plasma sphere in the over here. So the anomaly is green. It's beneficial. There are 3 types of anomalies. The green ones are beneficial. The gray ones are double-edged. They'll give you a benefit, but they'll also take something away. And the red ones are horrendous. They're really bad. It's things like acid rain or something. Like a planet that's constantly raining acid. So this one, it gives you +10 to your army manpower per person. That's pretty nice. +2 science per person, which is nice. And +1 production per person. Also gives you battle data. Okay, it's a battle tactic. That's something for completely later. So yeah, we explored that. That's what we have there. So when it comes to ships, I'm gonna come back here and click on this. Bring up our little shipyard. So, oops. What you can see here is at the very top in like yellow is Turkana. This is our dry dock, our shipyard, I guess you would say. And currently you see that there's this little radar dish. That's our command points. We currently have 0 because there's nothing stored in the dock. You see there's nothing over here. Everything's out in space. But what we can do is we can click on one of these to disband it. And we click on this one to disband it. And they are now in Turkana's dry dock. If we click on each one separately and hit create. And create. Now we're back to 1 out of 1. So something else you can do is you can shift click to select multiple and you can merge them, and now they're part of one large fleet. If you notice, the command point cost went up to 2 out of 4 because each one of these costs 1 command point. Bigger ships, like, you know, these are like tiny ships. Like bigger ships like cruisers and battleships and whatnot will take a lot more command points per per ship. It also has the movement. So this fleet has 0 out of 5. It's because I used all the movement to do the expedition. So they currently can't move very much. But yeah, that's fleets kind of in a nutshell. The basics. The next thing I guess we'll go over is Empire Summary. So up here at the top, there are a bunch of little tabs. First one, Empire Summary. This shows you a list of every system that you own in your empire, and it gives you a basic overview. Like this does, like the food and production. If you have like 6 systems, you can be like, okay, who's not happy here? And then you can focus on fixing that. You can see what they're all building. Like this is building a drone network. Take 5 turns. You could check all these things. You could also see the planets, detailed overview. There's also a tab up here for victory condition. The way you win in this game, there are, 6 ways you can win? So score. At the end of turn 300, if you have the highest score, you win. Which if you hover over the end turn button, there's your score. Supremacy victory. Bring all factions' home systems under your control. So if I go back and look, see the crown? If I own the crown system of every other faction in this game, I win. Conquest victory. If you have 22 systems colonized, you win. Pretty tough to do, actually. Science victory. Research all 4 victories in the science tech. Okay, there's... What is it? In the science tree, there are 4 legendary techs. If you research all 4 of them, you win. Which is a pain to do in its own right. Economy. This requires you to get so much dust, which it's 700,000 here. If you earn that much dust in a game, you win. Which, these values actually change too. Like, obviously, like, supremacy, 1 out of 6 systems. Well, if there's 12 systems in the game, you gotta own all 12. The last one is a wonder victory. Near the end of the game, there's a technology that you can unlock that lets you build a building, and you have to build 3 of these buildings, and they have an extremely high resource cost to build them. But if you build all 3 of them, you win. So, that's that. Also, you can see, I guess in this tab, you can see your empire's total approval. So it kind of totals up all of your systems, and it says, hey, this is how the entire empire feels. Do they hate you or not? Also tells you your expansion disapproval. As long as you're underneath this value, you're fine. But the second I go up to, well, I have 1 system. If I go up to 7, my people are going to start getting mad at me. So you have to be careful when you manage that. The next big tab up here at the top is the Senate. I honestly ignore kind of a lot of this for the most part. However, there are a couple important things. One thing is when the next election happens. When that happens, you kind of vote on a party. And whichever party you vote for, it puts some influence in. Now, every empire has a base of what people think about it. So, the empire starts out as an industrialist nation. And the leading political faction will determine its starting act of law. So the starting act of law for a production-based empire is Dust Windfall. It says here, in the bottom left, 10% of industry spent for any construction is converted into dust at the end. So, let's say you spent 1,000 hammers or production building something. 100 of those hammers or production is going to be turned into dust at the end and given to you. It's a pretty cool bonus. Each faction has like some interesting ones. You can, like, this law is always default too. It's always on until it changes. Like, let's say the militarists overtake the industrialists, then a military law will be set in effect permanently. And the military law is like, you can declare war for free, which is pretty nice. So each one's good in their own right. Try to balance your politics based on the kind of empire you want. You know, if you want to be a science empire, you should probably focus on, you know, supporting science. So, right here's a law that you can pass if you click on it. And, oh, that's interesting. It even shows the ones you can't get. So, for the laws you can pass, like, here's one like Super Tax Act. So, for each person on your planet, so currently I have 3, it produces 3 gold. So that's 3, 6, 9. I'd be getting 9 extra gold a turn with this in play. However, all my systems take a 20% approval hit. Or take a minus 20 approval hit. I don't know if I mentioned it, but if your approval gets to like below 20, maybe it's even 10, your people will start to threaten to rebel against you, and they will, well, start rebelling against you. So you really want to avoid that, otherwise you're going to have hostile rebel fleets in your system. There's a couple other ones. However, once we get to... Let's do this one. Yeah, okay. So, lower fleet costs rule. Its effects. So your ships cost 15% less hammers to build. Pretty nice if you're going to be building a lot of military ships or whatnot. It has an upkeep. You see at the very bottom, 1 purple star per person. So every person in your empire, which I currently have 3, will make it cost 3 purple stars per turn for me to keep this going, which I'm currently making 9. So that would be 1/3 of my stars. So when you pick laws, you have to kind of think, do I care more about the laws, or do I want to save my influence, my purple stars, for making deals with other factions when I meet them? Because to do anything with other factions, you have to spend stars. Like if you want to create a peace treaty, if you even want to declare war, you have to spend stars. Everything diplomacy involves that. I think that's everything for that. The commerce tab, the economy screen, we're not going to worry about that for now. I'll go over that once I actually get some economic text so I can show off what they do. But, you know, it does show you like a tally of your luxuries. Like we have the 5 Eden incense from the expedition we did earlier. So that's good. Science, the next tab, the technology screen. So this is there's a lot here. And I'm just gonna try and go through it like little by little as we go along. But military is the North Tree. Military is literally what it is. It's all about bigger guns, buildings that buff your army, new weapons, modules for your ships, shields, armor plating. What else? I think that's about it, really. Siege weaponry, all that stuff. So that's military, the Northern Tree. Actually, it says right here. Text focused on military equipment and defense, weapons, defense, manpower, etc. This does not include ships, actually. You get ships from a different tree, which is actually over here. The left tree is empire development. Technology is focused on empire growth, influence, diplomacy, population approval, etc. So you'll have technologies like, see these green ones? Green is food. So these are probably influencing your food in some way. Purple is diplomacy, you know, just like the purple stars. You'll see lots of text with these blue flags. Those are colony texts. This one allows you to colonize barren planets. Just like this one down here lets you colonize tundra planets. So the deeper down, the better planets you get, the more interesting ones you get. The texts here are all about dealing with other civs, making your people happy, and increasing your cap on how many planets you can have systems. Also ships. So here are ships. Right here, right here, and right here. They're pretty much always the same for every civ. However, some civs do have some special technologies of their own, so keep that in mind. If you have a special civ technology, it'll have like a little icon here at the bottom. See this little circle with like it's like a pillar or a 3 or something? That designates that it is special to my faction. The South Tree, science and exploration. Technology is focused on exploring and science. Also colonization. So like, see there's lots of flag text here. Colonize Mediterranean, colonize tundra. I'm gonna do Mediterranean first probably. Colonize snow, colonize ice, colonize Arctic. So there's a whole bunch of these. There's also exploration text. Remember when I sent the probe down to the planet and I was able to explore it? Well, some planets have those little circles to explore, but they're locked. And in order to break the locks, you basically need the keys, and they are the text with these question marks on them. See where it says set Curiosity Expedition power to 2? And there's one for detection to 3. Detection lets you see the circles. If you don't have detection high enough, you just don't know they're there. If you have your power high enough, which is the bottom number, you can actually send probes to explore them. So, having high power is really nice. So, like starting out, you start out with 1, right here. This will give you 2. This one will give you 3. And then this one gives you 4. And I think that's all of them. So, as soon as you get this tech, you can pretty much scan everything. So that's the science tree. And then the last tree is economy and trade. Technology is focused on population and diplomacy. Industry, strategic resource, dust, and trade. So, this one has a lot of, the big ones here are strategic resources. This is kind of like in Civ. Iron, oil, bronze, stuff like that. The strategic resources are actually right here. There's blue titanium, yellow hyperium. These are tier 1. Tier 2 are adamantium and antimatter. That's tier 2. Then tier 3 is orichalcix and quadrinix. Tier 3. So, starting out, the first 2 techs actually unlock the military resources for titanium and hyperium. So, if I come back to my system, I actually don't have any titanium or... Okay, yeah, I don't have any there yet. But if I research those, I could start mining them. You can't start mining them. It's just like in Civ ironworking. Like, you cannot mine an iron mine without iron working. You cannot mine hyperium without hyperium capture from plasma metallurgy. So, in order to get these strategic techs, you would need these. In order to get the red and the purple for tier 2, right here's the red. Or here's the pink, red and pink. And then next tier, here's the green, here's the purple. So there you go, all 3 tiers right there. A lot of buildings here give production. Like look at this building, plasma metallurgy, +3 production per person, per planet with strategic resources on the planets. So let's say you had like 2 planets that had like, I don't know, hyperium on them, and you had like in total 5 people. Well, 5 times 3, that's 15 production right there from people. So there's that. Yeah, and then there are just other techs like trade, like let me see, this says +2 gold per person on planet, or dust, whatever, gold, dust, same thing. +2 gold per person on planet, +10% ship buyout, construction buyout. Basically, when you get this tech, it allows you to use dust to buy things. Like, I want to buy a ship for 1,000 gold. This will let you buy it for 1,000 gold or whatever. And then this tech right here, 10% buyout reduction, it would take that 10,000 and reduce it by 10%, so it'd be 900 gold to buy it out. That's kind of the basics of the tech tree. It definitely gets a lot more advanced. Oh, what else? Here's something. So, each section of the tech tree, in all sections have, you see, a 1, 2, 3, 4. So, once you reach each level, you get something just for reaching that level. And if you look here, under Science and Exploration, see how the 1, we start out with 1. We get all 4 of these. So we get this little square. That icon means it's a ship module. So this one's called String Gravitics Engine, and we can put it on our ships, and it just gives 2 movement. This one lets us explore common luxuries from Curiosities, you know, the little question mark. So we get all this stuff, basic colonization, the probes. We get all of this stuff just for being tier 1. Now, once we research one technology, this lock breaks, and then it'll open tier 2. Once we get tier 2, we'll have nanobot repair, which is something that helps our ships repair after battle, and basic warp drive. So it's a support module that makes our ships move faster. And then once we break that lock, we can start researching these techs. Once we research 3 of those techs in this area here, we break it to tier 3. And then we get these, and so on and so forth, until we're at the end. If you notice, the legendary techs actually take 3 from here and 3 from here to break this all these locks and get to this technology. If you can get all 4 of these legendary techs, you win the game, though. It's a pretty daunting challenge, though. What else? You can queue up things, so like, let's say, you know, I clicked on all 3 of those. So I have this, this, and this. They're all up here in my research queue in the upper left. Tells you how many turns it'll take. I can rearrange them if I want. I can click on them and delete them. You know, you can do whatever you want. What else? If you notice rare earth foams, this thing I'm researching, it has a little line. Basically, if I research rare earth foams, it gives me a bonus and makes it a lot cheaper to research anything connecting to it. These techs are connected in like their own little branch. So, that's technologies. So rare earth foams take me 6 turns, as indicated up here. You can actually buy the technology as the Empire. This is an Empire only thing for 288 stars. So you're starting to see, you know, the Empire does pretty good if you get a lot of stars with them, because you can buy buildings and you can buy techs with them. The next tab is military status. Military status lets us do a couple things. First thing is it lets us see all our fleets. This is that one fleet we made with the patrol and the settler earlier. It also lets you change your battle tactic cards. It's right here, battle tactic cards. So I actually got this life pods away from an exploration event. So you can take it and you can like swap it in if you want or whatever. They kind of just do their own things. I usually don't mess with them too much, but yeah. You can manage your troops on your ships. So we don't have these ones unlocked yet because we're missing technologies, but you can change like how many tanks you bring or how much infantry, and you can spend gold to upgrade your infantry and tanks if you want, to make them do more damage and whatnot. Another thing we can do is ship designs are up here. These are all of our ship design skeletons. We start out with 2. Pretty much almost every Civ starts with 2. They start with an exploration ship, and they start with a settler. So here's our little settler ship. See, it says it's a colonizer. If I click on this one, it's an explorer. So let's click on the settler, and if you click edit, this is pretty cool. You can like flip the ship around, you can look at the guns and everything, and you can even replace some of the modules. So, you know, this has the basic colonization module, so it can actually colonize planets. It also has a movement module, helps it move faster. And what you can do is, there's a free slot right here. Let's take and drop another movement module on it. There we go. Now it goes even faster. So what? It can move. So normally it only moves at 5, but with this put on there, it can move up to 7. Oh, cool. You can have detailed stats on too. Neat. So yeah, you can do that. Our patrol ship, which I wouldn't mind having the patrol ship move faster, but I don't think it can. But let's put some better guns on it. So yeah, I'll put a better gun on it. And let's see, can I afford to put some shields on it? There we go. So it'll have a cost to upgrade it and to apply all this, but that's fine. Now it is called Patrol 2. I could have changed its name. Where's its name? Oh yeah, you can name it up here. Or some, I don't know. Anyway, you can rename it if you want. Somewhere. So, what I can do though, is I can come back here. Remember we were looking at fleets? And there's a little button up here. You can like, these buttons are like to control things in the dock, but you can like destroy them to get some of your money back. You can repair your ships, you know, like there's their health bar right there. You can also retrofit them. So this patrol ship, remember I put a new gun on it? So let's look at it. So if you look on here on the left, it has 36 damage. That little sword with that gradient bar. 36 damage. If I retrofit it, because I put a gun on it, it now does 72 damage. So, much stronger now. So, that's the military panel. Next, hero. So, there's a couple things you can do with your hero. Double click on him. You can design a ship. Pretty cool. You can give him his own guns. Give him weapon probes. I'm too poor to do that. I cannot afford to do it. So, that's too bad. He also has a skill tree you can level up. if you assign him to a fleet as a commander, you know, he'll give 4 EXP per turn to all ships on the fleet, because ships level up. 10% shield absorption. Makes the shield stronger. This is pretty cool. If you assign him to a system and not a fleet, he becomes like a mayor. And it says, on system if assigned, +1 purple star per person on planets. That means he's given influence to your planet, and purple stars are pretty good for our people. So, yes, So, I can assign him to system. Let's assign him to our capital. There we go. He's a mayor now. If you want to check, you can just click on the planet, and yeah, there he is. And that's pretty much it. The only things left are the quests up here. So once you get quests, you can come up here to pin them or whatnot if you want to change them. There's also a diplomatic status. Once you meet other civs and whatnot, you can talk to them through here, threaten them, throw things at them, whatever you want to do. Different views. These are kind of cool. Galaxy view. You can do an economic view. Once you have trade routes going and all this looks really cool. Bam. So that's that. That's all we can really do for our first turn. Okay. So I'm just gonna end turn. And let's go exploring. Okay. Here's our first system we have discovered, and it's called Cran. Now, when you first discover a system and you click on it, it'll play a little cinematic, and it'll show you some of the statistics for the planet. So yeah, pretty cool, huh? Unfortunately, none of these planets are hospitable. However, they do have anomalies I could research. But I would actually like to use my movement to continue moving and try and find a place where my people can actually settle. So we're going to take, and we're going to continue our journey. Okay, well here's a quest. So, reach 800 military capacity. So we can choose one of these 3 objectives that we can do. So reach 800. We're only at 318 right now. We're only getting 5. If we do it though, we get something called Punisher Drives, which is a building that makes our ships do 10% damage. I'm not exactly sure how that works. We can do the bribe, which looks more of an industry focus. Stockpile 600 gold. And we get an outpost called Trader's Reach. Or we can explore 10 curiosities and we get an empire improvement that gives us daily slogan. Let's do the Punisher Drives one. So eventually you'll start stacking lots of quests and events. Oh, here's a planet we can colonize. Only one here. Yakima, colonizable. Interesting. One planet. You usually don't want to do something like this. I mean, it's got Hyperion, which is nice, but I don't think that's nice enough to want to colonize. What was all here? Gas, Savanna, Tundra, Barren. Yeah. So, not a very good starting layout for planets for our empire. Okay, well, our building's finished, and the next building in queue is going now. And it's telling us, that's what the little hammer with the check mark means. Okay, our research just finished. Rare earth foams, to where we can colonize Mediterranean, so that's done. So let's see. Where do we want to go next? here's the planet we can colonize. You can just click through it if you don't want to watch all the videos. Okay, this Titan Forest is pretty good because it has titanium and hyperium on it, which are our 2 military resources. Which, titanium, it says right there, average deposit, and it says hyperium, abundant deposit. So that'll actually produce a lot of this. So I should research this quickly so I can start mining it. However, I did finish last turn researching rare earth foams, which allows me to colonize Mediterranean. Now if I come back to the galaxy map here, you'll notice that Turkana has the 2 hollowed out ones, but it has a white filled in one now. That means this planet can be colonized. So, if I click that, like the little flag underneath the planet, I can choose to colonize it. It'll take 4 turns. I could force it, or I could let Cerebral Reality finish, which I think I'll let that finish. And then I'll let Turkana, you know, do its thing. It's a pretty odd looking planet. Okay, cool. So, my colony ship has arrived. Yeah. I'm gonna colonize. And it plays a little video, depending on where you're colonizing, and shows your little colony ship flying in and landing. Now, you have 3 options when it comes to colonizing. You could spend some of your military, which I didn't bring any with me really, to absorb 10 food from each opponent's outpost. Just because you send a colony ship there doesn't mean you have established that this is a settlement. It takes time. And if you have opponents, they can come and settle. Like, someone could come and settle on like this Savannah planet, and we'd be fighting to see who gets this system. So that's where this is good. You can spend 150 gold to basically double the food generation. So instead of it taking 24 turns, it'll take 12. Pretty nice. Cuts it in half. But it usually costs a lot of dust. And this makes it so 100% of the Empire's food is sent to this place to help it grow. Since I only have like 1 system, I don't think sending the influence there will really do much. I kind of want to save the influence, so I'll go the 12 turns it takes to colonize that. I can start an expedition here. Let's see. Let's check the Savannah, see if there's anything nice. Plus 5 XP on ships. Ugh. One of the planets in this system is a toxic planet. Toxic planets are usually pretty bad. -8 happiness per person. People do not like living there. Okay. Let's continue. Hero leveled up. So, what do I want to put skill points in? Actually, I want to get the stars on planets. Let's get more influence. And probably one of the things I want to show off in this like small little setup tutorial. Okay. Is basically just some of the mechanics. Okay, well I discovered a minor civilization. There are these weird squid people. Okay. So, I can start negotiations with them, but I'm gonna close out of this and kind of show how it's all done. So, there is a technology in the left tree. It's one of the very first techs. I think the Empire starts with it, but it's this one right here. It's called Off-World Agribusiness. And there's a little scroll here called Xenosynergy. It says enables diplomacy with minor civs in Pirate League. Yeah, you can actually make deals with pirates in this game. You can befriend them, kind of, and you can basically pay them to go on hits on rival factions and whatnot. Pretty neat. However, this minor civ, it's much like a city-state from Civ. You can click on this in the middle to bring up this talk thing, and it'll tell you your relation per turn. I think we're getting 1 per turn because we were the first ones to meet them, but I can spend 25 stars to praise them. So I go from 1 to 3 to 5. 5 relations per turn up to a max of 100%, which I can work towards assimilating them. So I live on a Atoll planet. Atoll's nice. They have a large jungle here too. Ooh, there's a resource here called Jadonics. That's a production resource. And there's some Hyperium. Nice. Can always use more Hyperium. So I'm gonna try and befriend these guys. And just do a bit more exploring with my scout here. So now both these plants are colonized. Okay, we finished plasma metallurgy. Let's see. What do we want to research early on? So we're suggesting PEP scale. Is there a lot of... It does have an anomaly on it. Let's see. What of the 3 tech trees should I research? I kind of want the Xenobio so that I can actually... So like these 2 techs, notice how they have the little like truck thing for the bubble? These are both like science building. So like the little truck thing usually means it helps that color. So like blue science. So, you know, this gives plus 10 science per fertile, planet, and temperate. That's pretty good. This one gives plus 2 science per plants with anomalies, so that's good too. So we get those 2 for science. And then there's more down here, like see these ones and that one. Whereas if you look over here, there's a pink one, so that's like luxury, yellow's gold. This is probably something production based, resources, you know. Military, food. So yeah, the little truck icon helps out with those. Oh, so my patrol ship ran into some pirates. So remember I said you can set up your battle cards? You get to choose them here. And what you can do is, you can choose to watch it or skip it. I think I'll set it to watch for the first one, just so I can kind of show it off. So, we will watch my patrol, who has about, looks like a 75% chance to win this fight. And we'll see how he does. Okay, so yeah, pretty decisive victory. I thought it was really cool that you could see the pirate station in the background, because, yeah, the system I just went exploring into is a pirate station. Actually, you can see it right here. Oops. See it right there. Pretty cool. But what you can do is you can actually click on them to talk to them. So you can support them, you can buy a pirate mark. You can't actually befriend them, but you can pretty much get them to the point where they won't attack you. So, that's pretty cool. Ooh. Okay. I'll leave the pirate stronghold for now. But if you bring fleets through, you can actually take them. No, my relationships have changed with them. We're now friends-ish. Where's my first science thing done? This colony still isn't done yet. It has 5 turns, so we'll let it keep going. Ooh, what's this? Ooh, a large Terran planet. Please be good. Ooh, it has a positive anomaly. Hadiopelagic glyph. Beneficial. +2 science per person, +1 food. That's awesome. I need to get a colony ship out here. Once I finish that factory, I'll start sending people over. Okay. Which I can settle on the, what is it, the Tundra and Crane as well. I'll be able to build a second settler. Expansion's never bad. I mean, depends on how you want to play. Playing a tall empire where you only have a couple of systems is useful. You can do a lot with it. Same with if you play wide. Oh, this is nice. This event will help me find a technology. Okay. So since my diplomacy is high enough with these guys, I can try and assimilate them by doing a quest. To just get the quest, I have to pay them 35 gold though. So let's see what their quest is. I have to intercept the kidnapper's vessel. So there's a vessel up here that I need to intercept. Which I can see the little pulsing signal from it. New technology. So I got a good basis for science already rolled out, so I can start focusing on other techs. I got a little bit of production. How's money looking? It's okay. Maybe we should get some of the purple stars. There's a tech called Xenology that lets me work on that. If it is, some systems have, or some techs have what look like a, it's like a planet, looks like a little Saturn. That means it is a planetary specialization. And that, oops, I guess we can go into our new planet and look, is in here. This little wrench. So I've already unlocked one through something I researched. And it'll let me build an exoscience station. And these are usually fairly cheap to build. And what this says, it produces 1 science per person on cold, and +1 science per person on that planet. Unfortunately, this is a temperate planet, so that wouldn't work for that. But it's good to have if I get ice planets. So a good start is to always build drones, cerebral, xeno-industrial, public, private, and then you can kind of go from there wherever you want. Which I'll just leave it for now. I don't know if my little ship can deal with the kidnapper's vessel. I guess I'll find out though. Actually, I think it's coming here. So here's the election. Choose who you vote for. And you can check the laws that get unlocked. The more votes you put into a system, the higher the level of what is it, like, law you unlock. So you see here, like, the level 1 where it says, like, required political EXP. It says functional, and there's, like, nothing in the bar. But then you look at this one, established, and there's a lot more to it. Entrenched, and then potent. So depending on what you support, you'll get different things. But let's say I supported military, and then it like changed our like our major political party to military. This ability would come into play and always be into play. Which some of these are neat. The religious one, like, you can attack and invade enemy area even while you're at Cold War. That's pretty neat. But we're gonna stick with industry. So we see what everyone votes. Which they both voted industry. And we got more XP in our thing. And we unlocked this law. +1 resource generation on strategic resource deposits. So like our little iron mines, our Hyperium and whatnot, will generate 1 more resource if I make it a law. But it costs 2 stars per person, so it's kind of an expensive law, because we're going to have a lot of people in our empire. Oh, objective achieved. I intercepted the kidnapper's vessel, so my reward is 80 stars, and I obtained the minor salve. Oh, and I have met the Riftborn. So, this system is now mine. Which it actually has a a planetary specialization built on it called Evolved Soils. Cool. So, I could build the Cerebral and Drone Network. However, looking over here at Baten, Baten has Hyperium and Gedonics. So if I colonize this, I'd get 2 of each of those per turn. So I kind of want to get that done immediately. And then, like I said, Drone, Cerebral. This is a +10, +10, +10, +10. Okay, that's a good start. So there we go. I'm already up to 3 systems. Oh yeah, I did build like 2 colony ships too. You select 1, create a settler. Oop, no, I selected 1. Okay. I really want to send that settler here. Also, since I took Baten, they gave me 2 of their warships. So that's kind of cool. Yep. Cool. Oh, and I reached 800 capacity in your empire. I guess it wasn't just up here, it was like all together. So now I have Punisher drives. So this is actually part of the, every faction has a quest for like the faction, like a sprawling quest chain. And there will be a whole story dialogue here that you can read through and do on your own time, but it'll come with objectives that they want you to do. And this one actually gets us a leader. So I'm gonna do... Let's see. I've never done Hadri's, so I'm gonna do Hadri's. Which just requires you to build a ship of a certain military strength. And then I'm gonna colonize this little tundra. I'm gonna place a little video. Pay the dust to get this system rolling. I'm worried upon seeing the Riftborn because they might try and come and colonize in one of my systems that I'm looking to capitalize on, like this one up here. I'd really rather they not do that. So yeah, I'm building all these things, which probably isn't best for my gold per turn, which is already negative 19. So what I really should do after I research Xenology is research something from the right tree, because this is all about economy. So what makes gold? Astrofinance. Plus 3 gold per person on planets with luxury resources. That sounds pretty good. So that'll help us boost our money. It also has, if you notice, the little Saturn planet. So it's a planetary specialization that gives gold buff on sterile. So I can do that too if I need money. Okay, spin project's done. Cool. So now I can start making spin projects to really buff up my my influence. Probably gonna finish this science building first though, since it's almost done. I should have put better engines on my ships. The South Research Tree has a lot of stuff involving moving fast. Okay, multi-thread management is unlocked. So that was one of my technologies. What is multi-thread management? Oh, okay. This is the one that actually lets me pay gold to buy out systems. Or buy out tech stuff. Like, see, like I can buy out these buildings if I had enough gold. But I'm making, like, not very much per turn, so... Okay, and Xenotourism's done. Cool, so we... Oops. What's going on? Oh, whoops. I clicked fight. So that's kind of cool. They're fighting in a... Oh, cool. So I was one of the first people to control at least 4 star systems in the same constellation. And it gets me this this building called Citizens Entrepreneurium. Plus 1 star per person, plus 50% trade system value. That's really nice. So what I didn't explain was when you look at technologies and you see how the locks lock things out, well, there's a diamond here and it says this deed will be revealed when your empire has unlocked its requisite technology stage. This is kind of similar to Wonders, and only one person can achieve this. Here's one of the diamonds here. Studier of Worlds. Be the first to have 8 planets colonized within your empire. So whoever is the first person to get 8 planets colonized earns this deed, and it goes off the table. And its rewards are 75 Eden incense. That little, like, plant luxury. However, I just accomplished this one without realizing it. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, as you get up higher, you'll start unlocking these. Okay. I definitely want to colonize this large Terran. research queued. Okay. So, let's see. So in this tree, there's some things I could research. If I could research this to get better probes. Machine bacteria gets you better probe scanners. I could research this to get faster fleets. I might do that. Faster fleets would be nice. And I'm gonna research this next. We'll start getting some basic military going. That way at least I can get to the point where I show you guys like combat. Let's see. If I go to economy, so something I wanted to show you. Well, let's go to science first. So remember when I said there were breakthroughs for each technology? Well, I did break through rank 3 of the economy tab. And economy rank 3 gives you this unlock called basic system development. And it says at the bottom, effects unlocks a level 2 upgrade. What that means is up here in the economy screen, if you push F3, there is a thing called system development. This is basically you modernizing your system to be something more than what it already is. So what you come in here and do is you select a component to fill in this question mark slot. So I'm going to select, since I only have Eden Incense, I'm going to select that. And what it does is any system that modernizes, this is permanent mind you, so you can't change it once you do it, but any system that modernizes to rank 2 gets plus 30 purple stars on their system. I hit OK, and there we go, it's all set up. So, if I go back to my capital, Turkana, right there it is. I have to spend the Eden Incense, but I'm making plenty of it. And I'm going to set it as a priority, because it takes only one turn to modernize. So, you can see how if I come back here into luxuries, certain luxuries are pretty valuable based on what you want to do. Like, let's say you want to be a production empire. Well, like this, Jadonics. If you modernize with that, it gives you 60 production on a system. 60 production. Let me look at my capital here. It's currently producing 130. So that'll take it almost up to 200. It's not bad. Okay. So what I'm researching here is one of the first military techs called Ubiquitous Surveillance. And unlocks big data shipyards, 40 initial XP on fleets. It's basically like the barracks from Civ. Any ships you build on the system will get some extra XP. And then I'm going to queue up, remember when I said in the beginning, here are ships, and here are ships. I'm going to get the basic first tier of ships to unlock them. So I'm going to put some research and time into those. Okay, I'm just going to give him more production. Baton needs something to be built. Baton, what should you build? You're a hot planet. Are strategic resources? There is, Hyperion. So we'll build that. We'll build that for some monies. Oh, we can modernize here too. Oops. We're going to modernize. And we'll just build all that. Oh. That's interesting. Okay. That finished. New military quadrant. Okay. Ah, that's interesting. I can actually see this system somehow. I really have no idea how. I think I want to take, and I'm going to merge my scout with my fleet here. Man, can I actually give this ship better engines? I do not have better engines unlocked yet. Let me see. How do I get them? Oh, I just have to break through to rank 3. Right there. Hyperion engine. So, let's unlock wormholes. Let's do that before anything. That way I can give them a better engine and they can actually go exploring. Turkana needs to build something. We're running out of stuff to build. I'm gonna have him build the barracks as well. So get some money building, some barracks. Okay. So now, yeah, see, I unlocked Tech 3. I can explore better curiosities, and I have a Hyperion engine now. So if I come into my military tab, my patrol ship, and edit, there we go. Hyperion engines. And I'm just going to apply the design. Come in here. If I retrofit my ship, it's still moving slow because these other two ships are slow, so I'm just going to disband and create a fleet with that. Yeah, see, it went from 4 movement to 8. Way better. Because I haven't actually explored what's south of Kren and Telkana, which I probably should have a while ago. Okay. It's a cold planet, so I'll put an exoscience station on it. We'll take 3 turns. I don't have enough Eden incense to modernize this new system I got yet. How much do I have? Market, Eden incense. So I'm making 2 per turn. Not bad. Heck, I should have waited for the Chidonics. Having the production would have been nice. Oh well. Ah, so there is a new hero available for requirement. I think we'll just go with Jennifer Wright. Why not? She'll be our military commander. This, and whatever else. Give her a buff to fleet movement. Oh, I can actually shelf the diplomacy thing now. I'm just gonna create a fleet on, what's our capital called? Oh, it's Turkana. Okay, so she's just gonna chill out in Turkana for now. But here's our quests. So you can like move or you can pin them or whatnot. Pick which one you want to do. Here's diplomacy. So we are currently at Cold War with these guys. They are reserved. We just met you. The Riftborn are kind of odd creatures, but as you notice, like to do anything, you have to spend stars. So even if I want to declare war, you know, it'd be 275 stars. So influence is pretty powerful. Endless parks and recreation. Might as well build that. Why not? This is actually a wonder. See how it has like the fancy gold border? That means it's a wonder. Which endless parks gives you a lot of science and research when your people are happy. Oh. we gain control over the constellation Pavo. So if I zoom out, you can see Pavo right here. This is that constellation. So I own a majority of it. So I get 15% bonus to like all my systems, I believe. Oh, what are these? Huh, these are nice planets too. You know what? Let's get a colony ship down there. Oh yeah. Some of the things I was researching in military, in tier 2, two of the really big good ones. This one right here. It's called Focus Plasma. This is an incredible tech because it unlocks this thing called Titanium A2S slugs. You see the module is like, it's like a blue cube with like a wheel. That allows you to send troops down to the ground to fight. And it's actually pretty good tech. You need it to invade systems. So this is very, very important. This one's really important too because it gives more radar dishes, which is your coordination or your command points. And it'll give you, as you can see, +3 on the Empire. So most ships I think start out like 4, or fleets start out at 4. This will make it 7. This will also unlock tanks for your command cards. Which I'll be able to do that. Okay. So those are done. I can actually see orange borders from someone. Let's see. Hero leveled up. Oh, since he has used 4 of his skill points, it unlocks the next ring, which has better things. Let's see, get some more food in here. Yeah, I guess that's fine. Having some extra food always helps. Though we really need to start making more gold. Like we're not making much at all. Once these systems start developing though, the money will start rolling in. Like at the start of the game, it's kind of like getting a foundation down. Let's see. events. Now, one of the things I'm researching right now, okay, is what are called like specialization decks. So you can unlock a ship, and it's kind of like it's the base model, the base skeleton, but there's like a 2.0 skeleton for every ship. So, for example, this one, it's a coordinator type ship. Once you unlock this ship, you get the base for it. But to get like the MK2 version, you have to research this linked tech. And this says unlocks additional purple module or pink module slots for the Sheridian class hulls, which involve like this resource. So if you have that resource, what you can do is you can spend one of that resource to unlock extra module slots. Which, to give an example, I just unlocked for, what is it, my attacker ship blue module slots. So normally, where's my attacker? Is it the Corvette? Yeah. So normally these slots would not be available, but since I unlocked that specialization, they are. And if I put something there, you notice the cost here, watch. See, they cost 1 blue now, because I'm using that blue slot. So it allows you to add more modules at a bit of an extra cost. So that's why it's like the MK2 version. So I'm gonna put some stuff on this. Let's get some defensive modules. And I can put another offensive one on here, I guess. Alright. Cool. I'm currently researching the one for my little defender ships. Just random events. Oh, someone got, yeah, another Empire's achieved this deed. Darn, I was actually pretty close to getting it. That's okay, though. Now I'm kind of in an awkward spot to where I'm like running out of things to build on certain planets, and that's because I've been focusing on military techs. Unfortunately, when you start doing military techs, you don't really unlock buildings. So something you can do is over here in the economy tree, on the bottom side, this is where the magical ash into lava planets research is. One of the things that unlocks with lava planets is something called public 3D printing. This is a research or a building, like an improvement that you can just be building all the time, and it consumes all those hammers, and 25% of that production is turned into gold. So if you're producing 1,000 hammers, you would get 250 gold a turn. Pretty awesome, eh? There's also one right next to it for science. So I think I'm going to do that next. Ooh, it's kind of a leap to get to it. It's worth it, though. Because right now this city, like, or this place has, like, nothing to build, so. Which I guess I could build combat ships. This one has one more turn on this wonder. That's how good the production is in these. Yeah, so I achieved this. Alright. This planet's full on population too. Okay, so something we can do now, since I researched specialization of the escort as well. So see, its slots are yellow, not blue. And I'm gonna give it this module called H Field Fleet Accelerator. It gives +1 movement points to the entire fleet, so that's pretty awesome. I'm gonna give it 2 of these siege modules. And it has a defensive slot. Let's give it some armor. And then what I can do is I can start building. Corvette, escort, Corvette, escort. And we'll get those rolling. Oh, I can modernize this system. Probably colonize that. Get some food rolling on it. One of my heroes leveled up and I didn't assign the point. Let's see. Okay. Lava planets being researched next. Definitely more stars is always good. Hell, actually, I'm gonna spend some stars to just research that immediately. Now I have lava planets. Alright. Something I think would be nice getting is coming down here into the south tree and getting this thing that unlocks more curiosities. So let's get that. Just gonna update some of my planets that can be colonized since I've done some Texican, Ash Hot. Okay, that's just an interesting looking planet. It has Huon rings, which are nice, and Aurora waves, which are okay. Yeah. Okay. But this planet's growing its influence well. Although, that is what the stars do. They help grow influence quickly. I don't know what this Riftborn's doing. Okay, definitely want to colonize this magma and get back to building. This will probably give me a lot of hammers. 191 to 214. Not bad. Move up population over here. There we go, 250. Now I got hammers rolling. Let's buy this. Get some food going. Just picking random stuff. Normally I'd read them, but we're not really here to get into all that. Let's see. Ooh, modernization. Oh yeah, here's my new hero I got. He looks pretty cool. He was from the event I just did. I guess I'll get trade company so I can show how that works. Jeez, that's a lot of updates. Oh yeah, back here in the military tab, how I was talking about the troops, I did unlock tanks, so I'm going to show that. So what you can do is you can come in here, see you can set the percentage of your military. Okay. Man, this would be great too. Sci-fi design school. Plus 20 per system level. Well, it's already system level 2, so that's 40. Corvette escort. Yeah, just researching commercial frameworks which unlock trade companies. Which that'll be nice to have. It's good money. Right now I'm not really making much. Okay, so that'll give me trade companies. Next thing I researched is down here, this thing called reveals wormholes. See if there's any wormholes. Which there most likely are. Wow, wait. Wow, all my systems can have sci-fi design schools. That's actually really good. Trade company. How long will it take to build that? 4 turns. Okay, let's build a trade company here. Pause that wonder for a little bit. So basically, you can have one trade company built. If I come up to market. Oh, hello, Horatio. It says new trading company request a headquarters location. So that's what they're building right now, is the trade company HQ. Which you need this tech to do. Which one was it? Commercial frameworks. Add to trade company's HQ to the system. Okay. Actually, I want to build that sci-fi design school before anything. Turkana needs to build something. I always have things that need built, Turkana. Build AI labor. And then more Corvette escorts. How many are we up to now? So we're at 7 CP. Oh, we can have up to 7 as well. So if I merge these together, there we go. Our gun totem man's leading troops. Oh, and my research just finished. 4 wormholes. I already see one right there. Just want to increase the CP cap. There's a radar dish right there. Other things you can research in this tier 3 areas on the right side. You can get armor like blue and yellow, or blue and yellow weapons, since I have quite a few. I could upgrade my ships a bit. Man, what should I even have the system build? I guess I'll just have it producing gold for now. So. I should probably get these ships to catch up. Oops. Let's research blue weapons. So it's a CP cap now. Now it's 10. Okay. Now, something that you need to build. I finished the trade corporation in that one place, right? So Batten has that built. And it's this little, like, set of cubes. That's a trading corp. It says this HQ is not able to trace route to your subsidiary. So, right there's a trading company subsidiary. So you have to build, like, both of them. But you build the headquarters first. It's really weird. Trading in this game is a very abstract thing. I'm kind of rushing along. Let's see. Okay. So, research that. So now, if I come into my Corvette, I have blue weapons now. So let's replace all our normal guns with the blue ones. Very nice. Oh, wait, did I replace the engines? No, I did not. There we go. So Corvette and Escort. Escort's engines are good. And it only has one set of weapons. So I come in and retrofit. Boom. That's a pretty strong fleet. I'm gonna stop researching on the armor. Let's research something else. That's fun. We should probably get... Nor Robotics. It has this upgrade for production, plus 20 production per planet.
I greet you in the name of...
Oh, hello. So, I'm just gonna go pick a fight. I just want to show off the combat before, show how that all works before we end things. Although I'll say I definitely have a really good system start rolling out here. One more churn for the market subsidiary to be done. Oops. Okay, modernize that system. And eventually, you know, once you get further down the tech tree, you can modernize more. Like once I have 4 of these locks unlocked and I get Tech 4, it'll unlock level 3 upgrade. If I go to market and level 3 modernization, see I can add 2 to the next rank of modernization. So anything that's level 2 can get upgraded to the level 3. It's actually like super powerful. Where's my hitter? Oh. So I did finish that in Turkana. So if I go back in their economy, now I have the industry built. Avalon, oh, you can even name it, that's cool. Avalon Industries LLP. So what you can do is this will increase dust and science, and this will increase luxury and science. But the more you invest in these, the more gold they actually put out over time, or more dust. And eventually you'll unlock more subsidiaries. So you want to try and kind of level this up as much as you can, because it gets you a lot of dust. And the economy scan actually does something now. See, it shows your trade routes from Baton to Turkana. Pretty cool. Tells you how much gold it's making too. And what's really good is when you start creating trade routes with other civs. Like, let's see if I can get one of them to actually trade with me. So if I declare peace, he's not for it. How about trade agreement? Probably not for that at all either. I didn't think so. What if I just give you a ton of Hyperium? Okay, he likes that. How about some titanium? Okay, he's okay with that. What more do you want? I'll give you like some of my dust. He doesn't care about dust. How about Jordanics? I probably won't really be using it. Doesn't really care about that either. What more does he want? Super spuds. This guy is so fickle. How about if I give manpower? Jeez. Okay, well I can't come to terms with that guy. Oh yeah, what I was telling you about before, the what was this I researched a long time ago? The wormholes? Or not wormholes, warp drive unlocks free movement for all ships. So check this out. So what you can do is I can go through here. Since I don't have a direct way through, I can do free movement. And so you can go through it like that. There's some text that speeds it up as well. I'm having trouble finding like another civ to pick a fight with. I should have just went after orange, I guess. I thought someone would be over here. Oh, there's someone. You've explored 20% of the galaxy. Have I met this person yet? No. Oh yeah, it's the Lemares. So.
You're
So
one of our
Lemares are...
favorite fish in this galactic sea.
Okay. Lemares.
Welcome,
I talk to her?
welcome.
Declare
How can
war.
The families will do our best to look.
Okay, so now we're at war with her. If you're at war with someone and you have siege modules on your ships and you're sitting, you know, above the planet, each turn this little thing here will pop up, will be up. And it says this system is under siege, which slowly saps its defense. So it currently has 450 out of 470, and it's losing 252 a turn from me bombarding it. So once it hits 0, I can invade it. I could invade it now, but the odds of me winning are pretty low. Okay, its defense is now 0. So, now what I can do is I can hit invade on my fleet, and it'll ask me about the ground battle. You can actually turn on to watch, so you can watch the battle. It's pretty cool. And I'll hit fight. Alright, so I got a victory there. Even though they don't have any defenses, she still has a couple troops left that are trying to defend. So I got a message about trading company. Yep. So new trading company requests a headquarters. So I'd have to build a trading company and a subsidiary somewhere to gain all the benefits from that. So I'm still trying to take this system. And my army's having trouble with it. Usually if you have bigger ships like cruisers that can hold more soldiers, it's not as bad. But I really can't bring a whole lot with me. I should just keep bombarding them. There we go. Okay, so decide Ursa's fate. So it tells you the system was captured, its wonders. I wonder if I can actually look at it. I guess I can't see the improvements. So you can raise it, burn it to the ground, and there's nothing left. You can pillage it, try and get some resources, or you can occupy and take it for your own. Which I think I'm going to take it for my own. There you go. Now Ursa belongs to me. Now, every turn, it's not completely taken over yet. Every turn, a red ring will appear around this, and once it fully encompasses it, it swaps ownership to me. So I'll end my turn just to show you. See right there. So it's part way there. Which, depending on your influence and whatnot, you can make it go faster or slower. But that's about the start to the game. I think our influence circles got pretty big from the purple stars. The more you put out, the faster your borders expand. Eventually there's actually a technology to where you can steal other civs if your borders overlap theirs. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, so that is my introduction to Endless Space. I hope it was a bit educational and not too hectic and crazy, but that's it for now. So, ciao, have a good one.